Hi, welcome to another segment of the basic PVC series. We have a few things laid out over here, some different kind of glues, pipe, and some fittings mess around with and show you a couple things. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so looking at a bunch of different glues here. Basically, you can go ahead and not worry about anything else. Commercial, did this a lot on floor systems doing pools. These are rated to 6-inch. Not to worry about that. I got that blue glue just for a fast set. It's a better price than the Christie's. I got a big old, I don't think that's quart size. But all you have to worry about is this. The first thing I want to show you is the same glue, and the dauber you get for this is huge compared to this. This is really hard to work with when doing 1-inch and 3/4 and 1/2 inch. So you might want to, if you want to buy a can, use this as a refill for this little guy here. Easier to manage as far as gluing with fittings and stuff. Christie's, really good glue, fast set. Need to get sprinklers back on, whatever. That's definitely the glue to use. Either way that you go, it all falls back to the pipe. The project you decide to do, whether it's a repair or project, if you're repairing this kind of pipe right here, right, you definitely want to pay attention to the fittings. We'll get into that later. If you're using this, you're probably easier way to do this is primer with a critical run, constant pressure, no primer, with sleeves, drain pipes, and sprinkler stations that have pressure on them once in a while, not consistently. That's a pretty easy way to remember it here. If you want to use primer on a non-critical run, be more than happy to do that. Not going to hurt anything, obviously. Excessive primer, yes, you don't want to do that. So let's put on the gloves real quick, and we will do a few glue joints here. Okay, so if you're going to use primer on this, more than welcome, but don't really need it. I cut this down with some scissors because it was way too much. And all you want to do is put a light coat on it. You don't need to saturate the pipe. That's all you need for that. Same thing with the Schedule 40. There. It creates a better bond. You can use this as a solvent, as a cleaning agent, but today we're going to use it as a catalyst to bond pipe together. Okay, so that's it for the primer. You'll see that this right here makes it easier to work with, this little dauber as opposed to the big one there. We got 1-inch here. Do a coupling. Just get a nice even layer on there. Very lightly on the inside. You don't need a lot. You don't want it to pool inside. Always give it like a little twist. Always wipe it like that, and you're done. Should be very neat, easy, zero pooling in there. If you can see that or not. That's a great glue joint right there. That's one. So a little bit of practice makes it real easy. Let's do a 90 real quick. So let's do that here. And, just give it a little light coat all around and very lightly inside. You just want to barely touch it inside just to moisten it up a little bit. And sock it like this, a little wipe, and it's good to go. Real simple there. Primer can be very potent, especially when you are working on class 200 pipe, this thin wall stuff right here. What you don't want to do is completely saturate this in primer and use a heavy set glue, which would be probably the gray or something like that. This pipe is very thin. It doesn't take much to bond it. As you'll see later, maybe in another video, this has been setting for a while. Obviously no primer on that one. I'm going to go ahead and do a repair on this and chip and peel it. And one final note is I did pools for about 23 years. Average about 250 pools a year. On a slow year, obviously a lot more than that on other years. And that equates to about 5,000 pools, give or take. When you take fittings off, all you want to do to save a 35-cent fitting. But if you did, an easy way to do this Takes probably suck example. Okay, like I was saying, did a lot of pools over the years, and that's definitely not a boast. That is just to let everybody know that over that period of time, 5,000 plus pools, hundreds of repairs that I did, not once have I had to light a glue joint on fire. Had to heat it up a few times because getting a fitting off a piece of pipe here, sometimes it's cold, it's really brittle, it's a really critical joint to save from tearing out a bunch of concrete and replastering a pool. But heat it up, not on fire, but to heat it up enough to make the fitting more pliable so you could peel it back. So I'm going to show you how easy this is. We don't really got to light it on fire. So I'm going to go just to the left over here. Take this. Definitely got to know your depth. That. My tools of choice. Thin screwdriver. Just narrow. And these. Don't need these because it's a really fresh glue joint. Take that, stick it in here. Done. Doesn't take much because it's freshly glued. Now, not going to be able to do that with this, and lighting this on fire isn't going to do anything. But cause toxic fumes and become very dangerous. So don't light this stuff on fire because you don't need to. Okay, let's get back to gluing. Okay, gluing fittings is the same regardless of the size pipe, whether it's 1.5 inch, whether it's 2 inch. The only thing that you really need to remember is when doing a project with either Schedule 40 pipe or my Class 200, where'd it go? Or Class 200 is the type of project you're doing, that's all. And if you're going to do something that's constant pressure, that's your critical run, definitely hit it up with some primer. You don't have to be messy. It doesn't have to be a lot on there. Don't saturate it. Just lightly do that. There's other ways to clean pipe. You can use sandcloth. You can use another hacksaw blade, especially when you get concrete splattered on it. Did this a lot to scrape it off there. So a few different methods of clean pipe. You can always get the clear primer if you want to. And that pretty much concludes gluing pipe. I think next time we're going to tackle some repairs like I showed earlier. Thanks for watching.